for this team to go in to the Hall of Fame means a great deal to me. It's a special team. Every team is special. This was one of the more special teams.
It means a lot as far as the guys are finally getting recognized. That was a great team.
I think it's important because guys like myself and Dan Bitson have been able to get into the Hall of Fame, and we know how special it is.
What it means to me is a very special group of guys, like a brotherhood, like a fraternity of guys being recognized for a very emotional year.
What was special about the '91 team, I think it started with Coach Rader, and he actually brought us together, and we were a unit.
We had guys from East Texas country, downtown Dallas City, Pittsburgh, Alberta, Canada, Edmonton, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right here in Tulsa. I mean, we've had guys from all over the United States and North America.
We were fighting against the odds. We had no conference, we had no league. Conferences were expanding, nobody was calling us, but we had good people. We had good people. Man, we had good people. One of the highlights of the whole season that really brought our team together was a play when the Southwest Missouri game was in hand, and we were going to win the game, and Dan Bitson runs out onto the field, and we throw the ball to him.
Emotionally, I mean, it was just something that, I just remember for the rest of my life.
And Dan makes the catch and holds the ball up and more or less says, "I'm back." That was a great moment. When TJ hit Brian Thompson in the south end zone against Oklahoma State, and the ball just went over the defender's hands, and Brian catches it for the touchdown. I said, well, maybe some things are going to turn our way this year.
I always look at Oklahoma State being supposedly the bigger school. So supposedly they're supposed to be the better school. So for us to get over the hurdle was a huge confidence builder for us.
We were down by 18 at the halftime. Everybody thought the game was over. I'm sure a lot of those guys across the way thought that game was over. But we had people in that locker room that believed that we could still come back.
People have asked me, in the A&M game, we were down 18 points at halftime. What did you say at halftime? It must have been just an enthralling speech. It was really a speech I said, we're 18 points down and they're really not 18 points better than us. And the fellows were pretty much pushing me out the locker room door. It was really not any words that were said. It was a feeling of confidence. We hadn't played well, we can play better, and they really just wanted me out of the way.
Boy, had this happened early in the first half, what a different game it might be. As it is, Hewley high steps into the end zone. And we may have a game yet. Hurricanes showing blitz. No pressure on Granger. Mither! 8:55 in the third. 28-23 Aggies. Second and goal. New quarterback Matheson. And three wideouts left to give it to Hewley, and he's got maybe a Tulsa touchdown. We've got a game. Under 3 minutes. Atkinson looping on the rush. Caught by Pitt. He's gonna go.
And just to see Chris outrunning the secondary for Texas A&M, I mean, hey, we were all there together. I'll probably been behind Chris chasing him, but pushing him down the field to get to the end zone.
I'd have to say my most memorable experience is when we beat A&M here at home, 35-34. I think the most memorable thing is that night, being with your teammates and celebrating and having a good time, and every time you looked over at ESPN on that bottom scroll, they ran that score across the bottom, so it was pretty cool.
Well, what I remember about Southern Miss, the snow game, was, it started out, it was a decent looking day, and it seemed like it all of a sudden started snowing.
I guess it was before global warming because it was November and it snowed. We were just going to throw it up for grabs.
Rubley drops to throw. He's going to throw it up in the air. He throws it a mile in the air. A Hail Mary upfield is tipped. Caught!
Special things happen at special times for special teams. This was a special team. And Chris comes down with the ball.
We got to the point at the end of the game where we needed someone out there to clear off the field for the guy to kick the field goal. Everybody out there trying to clear the field.
Talking to Clubber or Eric Lang afterwards, and him being from California, you never thought that was the first time you saw snow.
A 24-yard kick is on the way. It's got the distance. It's good! Tulsa, in a miracle comeback, has defeated Southern Mississippi 13-10.
The one that stands out was Todd Hayes, and he addressed the team, and as soon as he spoke, and his last words were, and when we get together in 10 years, everybody buy me a beer. Now let's just go whip their tail. And the room went up, it exploded. The game was over at that time. The other team didn't know the game was over. We had to go play, of course, but as we walked out of the room that night, Todd Hayes brought us together, and victory was ours because of the attitude that came out of that room. I'll never forget that moment.
The snap to Rubley. Give Jackson, runs outside 10, drop pocket 5. Goodbye, touchdown. It's a walk into the end zone for Jackson. Mowry sprints back, gives to Pittman, runs left. He's down to the 5. He's near the end zone. Fumbles the football in the end zone. Tulsa recovers. A major break for the Hurricane as Dennis Hickey comes up with a fumble. Double tight end look. Run short side, Jackson inside a block. A touchdown. TU as Jackson barrels into the end zone. Rubley rolls to the right, gives to Jackson, big hole right, he's to the end zone, touchdown! It's a trifecta for Jackson. He's got a triple. Give him the hat trick. The snap is perfect. Farad averaging 29, gets his best kick in the game away, and it goes over the head of the receiver. Juggled back in the 10, loose ball. Dillard, Tulsa recovers at the 2-yard line. I believe it was Billy Cole. Rubley again gives to Jackson. He's outside the left. He may score. He does. Touchdown. Ron Jackson. He's got 4 of those babies. And look out. Here comes the Gatorade. They got it. Dave Rader just got Gatoraded. Tulsa will come on the field. Time will expire. This baby's in the record book.
The coolest thing about this team was its brotherhood and how tight they were. And to this day, there's a lot of us that are still close.
The personality of this team was a hunger.
These guys more or less said, this is what our team's going to be. We're going to be resilient. We're going to come back, and we're going to play hard.
I think the personality was, it was just a workman's-like team.
I think the personality of the team was us playing as a cohesive group.